Hey everybody, Cinephile Mike is here, and it is day 45 of Awards Season Review Season 3. 97 reviews coming at you in 97 days, covering many of the films up for award recognition this season. Now, as some of the films I'm talking about are currently in theaters or awaiting a re-release, the information that I provide to you related to nominations, wins, my predictions, box office information, critical response, everything is current within 7 days of recording and posting. And as always, these reviews are spoiler-free. Also, don't forget to check out my website, cinephilemike.com, where you can find the Where Can I Watch It spreadsheet, the 2024 edition, where you can track the nominations and wins for all the films I'm talking about here and more, as well as see how to watch them. So, we're moving along in our seventh theme week, and we are looking at the rest of the Critics' Choice, mostly. All 7 films that I am looking at this week have been nominated for at least one Critics' Choice Award and possibly others. We will see how these 44 films competing for these prizes will shake out at the awards ceremony, which has been postponed to later this month. And in that note, please know that I'm sending positive thoughts and prayers to everyone on the West Coast. I hope you're all doing okay in this tragic time. So, today we are looking at A24's A Different Man. Written and directed by Adam Schimberg, the film was released this past fall. Currently, the film sits with a box office take of $645,254 domestically and an additional $676,012 internationally for a total of $1,330,266. Critically, the film is certified fresh on both sides, though a little higher with the critics, where it sits with a 92% critical rating from 166 reviews and a still fresh but slightly lower 76% popcorn meter from over 250 audience scores. Award season wise, currently, A Different Man is nominated for Best Hair and Makeup at the Critics' Choice Awards and also Best Special Makeup Effects for a feature length motion picture by the Hollywood Makeup Artist and Hairstylist Guild Awards. Now, aside from the makeup and hair nominations, lead actor Sebastian Stan won the Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy at the Golden Globes. The film won Best Feature at the Gotham Awards, where it was also nominated for Outstanding Supporting Performance for Adam Pearson. And Pearson is also nominated for this category at the Independent Spirit Awards, where Schimberg is also nominated for Best Screenplay. A Different Man was named one of the top 10 independent films by the National Board of Review and also had several other nominations it wins in various categories at various film festivals and critic circle recognitions. So, what is A Different Man about? Well, meet Edward Lemuel, a struggling actor in New York, played by Sebastian Stan, who has neurofibromatosis, my apologies, in the form of a disfigured facial condition. He does what he can, but he is very unhappy. He then meets his neighbor, a playwright named Ingrid, played by Renate Rensiv, a standout in Armand and The Worst Person in the World, both good films, catch them if you can. And Edward begins to crush on Ingrid, and she also takes a fascination in him. However, due to his condition, he's afraid to do anything or act out on his urges, and given that his acting isn't really working, he decides he wants a new life, so he undergoes a procedure to cure his neurofibromatosis, and when healed, to avoid going to the doctors and just making sure he can live his new life, he adapts the new name, Guy, states that Edward is dead, and creates a whole new life for himself, ending up becoming one of the most successful real estate agents in New York. More confident, he feels he's able to now speak to Ingrid, and they begin a relationship. But he also learns that she is producing a play based on him. Well, on Edward. And through an interesting move and experiment that I won't spoil here, Edward, as Guy, auditions to play himself, Edward, in the play that is named Edward, and he gets the role. So they are going through the process of rehearsals. Ingrid and Guy are in a relationship. And then while they're rehearsing, enter a man one day named Oswald, who is played by Adam Pearson, a man who suffers from the same neurofibromatosis as Edward did. And he has learned of this play and is very fascinated by it because it addresses medical concern. And, Oswald, he's easygoing, he's friendly, he's positive. It very quickly, it doesn't take him long to really endear himself to everyone involved in the show, except for, you guessed it, Edward. Without going too much into it, through a series of events, Oswald ends up replacing Edward guy in the show, which is a bit too much for Edward to handle. And I guess we could say all hell breaks loose, and we will see Edward truly become a different man. I'm sorry, I couldn't kind of help the pun there, but the title of this film just alone is fascinating because of how many different meanings you can get from the title. And, this film's fascinating because it mixes so many genres. It has some of the body horror elements that we saw in The Substance, even though a little bit more subdued. It's not quite Cronenberg. There are the drama elements, of this man with a severe fractured psyche suffering this identity crisis as a result of the condition. And yet there are some really light-hearted comedy moments brought to us by Pearson. Sebastian Stan, he's a powerhouse here, and as we follow him on his journey from beginning to end, I really don't think there's one emotion on the emotional arc from high to low that he doesn't tackle in this film. And Pearson, as the really kind of more positive, kind of guy, they're like the perfect yin and yang in their performances and in their spirits as they create, the two sides of this coin. Stan, I have to say, I'm gonna pay him a nice compliment here. I've been a fan of his for years, and this has been a nice year for him between A Different Man and The Apprentice. Let me say the makeup work on this film, led by the team of Mike Marino, who has also received a lot of nice recognition for all his work in the Penguin costume design on Colin Farrell, in collaboration with David Presto and Crystal Giunato. It's absolutely incredible, and the way that they take Stan through the process of his journey post operation and what they do with some of the prosthetics, it's unsettling to say the least, but it's fascinating. Schimberg's script is tight and tackles some, serious issues and psychological conditions in both a humorous and sad way. And the nice thing though is he never tends to get too sentimental or maudlin, instead choosing like we really get these deeply drawn characters without like digging for it. He just really creates an opportunity for his actors to live in the moment. Framing also it's clever training this transition Stan's character, putting on a play that's, so you've got like the whole art imitating life, imitating art plot. It's very meta and intriguing for this, and is handled very deftly. Works really well. So, does A Different Man have any Oscar chances? Well, with the Golden Globes win, which came before the Oscar nominations were finished, it could raise Stan's chances for the Best Actor conversation. I mean, he did not get the nod for the SAG Award for Best Actor, so not quite sure. The film did make the Oscar shortlist for makeup and hairstyling, and given that it has received some recognition, I think it could possibly earn one of the five spots. Although with similar effects in the makeup, it is competing up against The Substance, so could we see both enter the conversation? I mean, it's kind of hard to say. And while the screenplay is a strong, original, and really enticing story, I don't think there's enough to fully bring it into the conversation this year. So I think if anything, we're going to see the makeup and hair recognition in the form of a nomination, and I think Stan is going to fight for this one. And while Pearson did have some nice recognition as Best Supporting Actor, he hasn't really been in the conversation, and that category is getting even more stacked by the moment. So I think the nods he has received are going to be where that ends for him. For me, A Different Man, while Sebastian Stan gives a 5-star performance, film itself is a really solid 4-star film. It really gives Schimberg a chance to showcase his voice, and on his only third feature film, he has an interesting voice that needs to be heard, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. Now, if you would like to see A Different Man, there are still some select film screenings around. Otherwise, it is available for digital rental or purchase on most digital platforms. There's no streaming information yet. However, as it is an A24 film, if you want to wait a little longer, eventually it will land on Max due to that agreement. So, there you have it. 45 down, 52 to go. As always, if you like what you heard here, please click that subscribe button, like the video, spread the word. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms and on Letterboxd. Find lots of great information at my website, cinephilemike.com. Again, sending prayers and positive thoughts to everyone on the West Coast. I hope you're all doing okay. I'm sure you're not watching this right now, but please know we're thinking of you and hope that everything is okay. All right. Until tomorrow and until next time, everyone, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.